Next on the Broadway show, Hey Sister, Go Sister. Jessica Lee Goldyn is here to talk about joining the cast of Moulin Rouge. We'll also talk to that musical's new MC, Broadway vet Eric Anderson. Plus, Nik Walker joins us to talk about rejoining the cast of Hamilton. And a little bit later, music legend Barry Manilow is here to talk about the New York debut of his new musical, Harmony. I'm Tamsen Fadal, and this is the Broadway show. We are always excited to bring you another amazing episode of the Broadway show. I'm Tamsen Fadal. Moulin Rouge won 10 Tony Awards last year, including Best Musical. Now there's some new blood joining the incredible production. Let's send it out to Paul Wontorek.
Thanks, Tamsen. Stepping into a smash hit like Moulin Rouge is both a challenge and a privilege, but Broadway vets Eric Anderson and Jessica Lee Goldyn are more than up for the challenge. I've palled around with these two talents at the Civilian Hotel and their new stomping ground, the Hirschfeld Theatre. Eric, how are things at the Moulin Rouge?
They are on fire, Paul.
Still on fire.
Well, I just got there, so I'm glad to report that they are, yes, still aflame.
Still aflame
at the Moulin Rouge. And I'm grateful to be a part of it.
I'm excited that you're in it. I think this is so perfect for you. You actually have a history with this show.
I do.
Like a many year history.
I did the very first reading of Moulin Rouge in 2016, and I did every reading after that. Due to other commitments, I was unable to do the out-of-town and Broadway productions.
Right.
So my dear brother Danny did it.
Danny Burstyn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who I had my Broadway debut with in South Pacific.
I mean, I guess if you're gonna have somebody else do your role, he's the guy.
He's he's one of my favorite people and favorite actors. So I was delighted for him, and I'm delighted to be able to have the torch passed from him.
You have such a great energy. You're a unique guy.
Thanks, Paul.
You have done many different things on stage. I love that you are bringing yourself to this role because I can already tell that it's just going to be next level.
I'm having a ball.
This guy, this character, Harold Zidler. He's the what is he? The MC, the owner of the club.
The owner, and he's complex and charming and seedy and high maintenance.
Yeah.
And so am I in life. My wife is a very good sport. She knows she married a character man.
And obviously Moulin Rouge is all about excess and all about, there's a lot of opportunity to have fun.
It is dizzying. The amount of opportunities there are to have fun in that show. And the ensemble is amazing, and the whole experience is amazing. When I saw it to see what I was getting into, I came out of it like I'd just ridden the teacups ride, you know? I mean, it's amazing how much your senses are just pressed upon, and then you're released back out into the street after it, you know? And the energy that the audience gives you is so palpable.
And you have the nails.
I do. These are real.
These are certain things you live with.
These are a tribute to Danny Burstyn because this was his crazy idea. So I wanted to bring some of him into my Zidler as well because he's brilliant.
You have originated roles. You've replaced in hit Broadway shows. This is somewhere in between, I think, because
I'm a replacement. I wasn't given the liberty of finding things in the rehearsal process.
Right.
So much like my experience with South Pacific, being a replacement is literally like being shot out of a cannon.
You've done a lot of Broadway shows now, right?
Don't tell anyone. Yes, I've been very lucky. I've been very lucky. Between me and my wife, we've done probably about 14 Broadway shows since we moved here.
Your wife, Jessica, is in Tina, right over there. You're right over here. This is nice. It's nice to both be in big hit musicals at the same time.
Yeah, and it's fun to like walk past, it's like I did Last Ship there, I did Soul Doctor over there. I've been very lucky.
So do you guys commute together? Or like, how does that work?
We go home together.
Okay.
We take a car together.
So after the show, whose show ends first?
My show ends first.
Okay, so then you go and pick her up?
Yes, we actually wait right there at the Dunkin'.
You meet at Dunkin' Donuts?
Yep.
That's good.
Very romantic.
Jessica, you are now in the Moulin Rouge.
I'm in
This
the
is your new
Rouge,
home.
Yes.
How does it feel?
Amazing.
What's it like getting shot out of that? Eric Anderson said it's like being shot out of a cannon.
It is. It's like being thrown into a tornado and then coming out the other side.
Tornado.
Yeah.
All these things sound terrifying. Shot out of a cannon, thrown into a tornado.
A little bit, but it's like a good bad dream. You know, it's like you wake up and you're like, you know, covered in glitter, and it's magic. Yeah.
So talk to me about the actual rehearsal process.
This rehearsal process for me was about a month. They're telling me what's going to happen around me, teaching me the steps, and then being.
And a lot happens around you.
A lot like fireworks happen around me. I start the show with a headdress that's like, in Crazy Town. So yeah, they fill in the blanks essentially until I'm able to actually pop in there with the cast.
Wow. So the first time you actually experience all of the sensory overload is in front of an audience.
Yeah, the first time is like, oh, you're going to be great. This is your preview. Treat it as a preview. It's not a preview.
Right.
They are there. And it especially with this show, it felt like I was experiencing the Rouge for the first time as the audience does.
Yeah, I love it.
It was very cool.
Jessica, you got your start on Broadway. You were pretty young. I met you back then.
You knew me in the beginning. I was 18.
18?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
When you got Chorus Line.
Chorus Line.
The big Broadway revival of Chorus Line. You were Val.
I was Val.
As in Dance 10 Looks 3.
Well, that's right.
That's the clean way to call it. A lot of people call that song something else. What was it like to sort of get shot out of that cannon at that age? And it was a very highly coveted, all of those roles. I mean, it was to find this new cast for a Chorus Line with the original creators bringing this cast together.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. It was my second Broadway audition. The first Broadway audition I ever had was for Wicked.
Oh, wow.
And I got cut at the Flying Monkeys.
I'm
I was
sorry.
not a good flying monkey. But so there I was auditioning for the show that made me fall in love with musical theater.
Yeah.
And I was, auditioning with every
'Cause
idol I've ever had.
Wait, hadn't you already played like Val and Cassie when you were like a toddler?
Yes,
or something?
so the theater school that I went to in Jersey, in Morristown, they did a Chorus Line every spring.
Right.
So you would kind of like audition for a new role each time.
You played everyone.
So I played literally everything. I played Mike as a girl. It was crazy. But so that was the show at 10 years old that introduced me to what it is. And so, just to even be there and audition and then have them consider me for a swing, and then hire me for Val, it was literally stars aligned, dreams came true.
And now, I'm super excited because I feel like Nene in Moulin Rouge is such an amazing opportunity for you to show all of the skills that I know you have to Broadway audiences, because this is an incredible role.
Yes, it is. And it feels, again, like the stars aligned. How often are triple threat roles created now?
Right.
And so, I am so beyond grateful to get to do this, and very grateful to Robin Herder for creating this in the way that she did, in the beast mode that she is, and to have this opportunity to now get to dive in. It's incredible.
Incredible numbers in this show. Starting with, you open Lady Marmalade.
Yeah.
I mean, you get to do the fantastic version of Lady Marmalade that swept the world when this film came out.
Yeah.
What is it like to open the show in that way, center stage, in that costume, that music? I mean, what does that feel like?
It's a dream. Yeah, it's the thing that when you were a kid, you like pretended to do in your bedroom and walk down the stairs and be fierce. It is a dream. Nothing has felt so good on my body probably since a Chorus Line.
Pardon me, are you Aaron Burr, sir? He sure is. Nik Walker is a Broadway star continually on the rise, and now he's back in the spotlight in Hamilton. Let's send it out to Charlie Cooper.
That's right, Tamsen. This marks a return to the role of Aaron Burr for Hamilton leading man Nik Walker, and we got to chat at the Time Hotel. You have a long-standing history with Hamilton. Started out on Broadway in Hamilton, then took Aaron Burr on the road, then Ain't Too Proud, and now you're back.
Yeah,
What's that feeling like for you?
I will say I'm incredibly grateful. I think that's the most important thing. because it didn't have to happen this way. And as we've seen, right, Broadway is, it's trucking, it's here, but it's hard in these streets, like it's real.
Yeah.
And, you know, this team, obviously they built a show that changed the face of theater forever, and reverberates and reverberates and reverberates. But on top of that, they're also just good, kind, loyal people. And I don't say that just because they pay me. I say that because they truly are. And so for them to call me and be like, hey, come on back, is just an honor. It is very surreal. I do not feel like, I mean, I am a 10-year-old in a 34-year-old man's body, so I do not feel like I should be starring in anything or leading anything. But I am honored to try and give it my best.
So you are part of this massive show.
That's what they tell me.
Obviously, you took a little bit of a break from it. What do you miss most about it, and like kind of can't wait to get back to?
You know, I would say the thing that I miss most about Hamilton, or missed most about Hamilton, you have a show that is literally built to challenge your brain. It is the West Wing of musical theater. It is so many words and so much nuance, and you can never dig too deep into these characters. Even now, you know, I've been off and on doing this show since 2016. Even coming back on my first night, discoveries are being made. It does not get stale. It will never not be hard. And that is a gift for an actor. That is a gift to be able to say, oh my God, here is this thing that will just grow as I grow and can change as I change. And again, to have a creative team who's like, even, you know, now in 2022, we're not trying to have you come in and do Leslie. You do you. It's, I think, taking that and being able to bring that new perspective, that's what I missed. But I would say that, you know, I think the wonderful thing about Burr for me is that, like, and this is part of what I missed, he is such a good catharsis for all my dark little demons that we all have in this industry. Like, you know, because this industry, it breaks you down. It really puts you through things, and I think that Lynn so beautifully gave voice to so much of what we experienced through Burr, just in terms of that envy and that jealousy and things that we know we don't need to hold on to, but sometimes just bubble and bubble, and that is Burr.
So of course you took a little bit of time away from the show. What are some things that you feel like you're bringing that's like new and fresh to the show and to that role?
I think that the best way to answer that question would be to answer it in pop culture references. There's so many parallels between a Tony Stark and a Burr. Tony Stark as a character, right, is all about suppression, right? He knows who he is, and he knows who the world thinks he is, and those two things are oftentimes diametrically opposed. And I think the same with Burr. Burr is a character for whom he is very focused on what the world wants him to be and what he has been asked to be, but maybe 10% of him inside knows that it doesn't all have to be about the chase. It doesn't all have to be about the climb. So I think that that's kind of what I've been bringing to it, is just kind of that kind of what happens when you suppress those emotions for a long time. So there's a snarkiness that sometimes comes out in my Burr. Like, I love exploring the idea that he is the Princeton prodigy. What does it mean to be the status quo of something? What does it mean to be someone who is truly like a, you know, holding the thing down? So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just kind of put it in a blender and like pray to God it works, and you know, if they tell me it works, then I'll keep doing it. So.
You know what? I love that you just said my Burr, and I think that that's such a great point, because like obviously with the show being released on Disney Plus and people being able to see it really all over the place,
yeah,
one might think, why should I go and see it on Broadway when I already watched it on Disney Plus? But
yeah,
like literally, your Burr is your Burr, and I imagine it's completely different.
Completely. Everyone that you see in this show, every company that you see in this show, I think it's what makes Hamilton so special, is that they really don't try to confine anyone to anything that's been done before, to their credit. And so you see any company of Hamilton, you are going to see a completely different show.
There's still a whole lot more to talk about on this edition of The Broadway Show. Coming up, it's Broadway's most magical play, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. We're getting to know one of Broadway's fresh new faces, Brady Dalton Richards. I'm Tamsen Fadal, and this is The Broadway Show. Thanks for staying with us for this latest episode of The Broadway Show. Glad you're here. It's Broadway's most magical play, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, of course. And one of that show's rising stars is Brady Dalton Richards. He's this week's fresh face.
I am Brady Dalton Richards. I play Scorpius Malfoy in Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I got my start in theater when in elementary school, our choir teacher, Miss Nail, the school never done a musical, but she was like, we have a lot of like kids that have talent in this grade, so I want to try to do a thing. So she dreamt up Annie. I was a 4th grader, so I played Bundles the Laundryman and Franklin Delano Roosevelt. But it was my drama teacher in high school, Sally Livingston, gave me the confidence to want to pursue it as a thing. So I applied to a bunch of schools. I got into Syracuse. I didn't really know a lot about it, but I knew that it was a good school. I still have not gotten my first tattoo, but speed and purpose was like her mantra. I signed my emails with it. I was always more of a music person than I was a musical theater person. I jived with Amy Winehouse as a kid, and I was just like obsessed with watching her performances over and over again. And she was like the first storyteller who I like was really obsessed with. I was really obsessed with the Into the Woods, that cast album, Bernadette Peters in particular, and that was probably like my first like obsession with a musical theater performer. I had sort of moved away from the dream of doing theater in New York. I was living in Los Angeles at the time. I had moved there, I was living there for 2 years. I had done this pilot that was really exciting, I didn't get picked up. And this audition comes around, it's an open call, and I hadn't read the play, but I like grew up being a Harry Potter fan. My mom made me a Harry Potter bedroom that I lived in for a number of years. Obsessed with the movies, it would always come around my birthday, so they would be like my birthday party, we'd be going to see the movie. But I had this audition, and it was like the longest of shots, but it went really, really well. I called my mom and dad and was like, I had this theater audition in LA and it felt so incredible. And I know that nothing's gonna happen with it. It's the longest of shots. So like, I just felt so good doing this work in this room with these people. The call from my agent comes while I'm working and leaves me a message saying, hey Brady, give me a call. I think you're gonna be happy. And I call him and he says, I'm gonna be playing Scorpius. And life, changed. I moved back to New York for a Broadway show where Scorpius, I don't know, kind of is the show. Seeing the show and seeing how much it all revolves around that relationship. It's incredible. It's an unspeakable joy.
Welcome back to the Broadway show. I'm Tamsen Fadal. Let's get back to it. Barry Manilow is a music legend, and now the new musical Harmony from Barry Manilow and collaborator Bruce Sussman is about to make its debut in New York City. Let's check back in with Paul Wontorek.
The longtime friends and collaborators are thrilled to bring their show to New York for a limited run. It tells the story of the biggest singing sensation of pre-Nazi Germany. A production of the National Yiddish Theater Volksbühne, it plays at the Museum of Jewish Heritage. Gentlemen, you've been working on this show for 30 years on and off. So what I mostly want to say on the eve of your New York debut is congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
How do you feel? How does it feel to be at this point?
It's thrilling and
exciting.
This building built about remembering. What better place for the show to make its New York debut than here?
This is the story of the Comedian Harmonious, which is a singing group from Germany. What about this story has really kept you inspired over all this time?
Yeah, we felt like it was our duty to make people aware of this group. They were so talented and their story is so tragic. Nobody remembers them and people should. They were a very, very inventive, entertaining group that should not have gone away. They were so popular, and nobody remembers them. So it's our duty to make people aware of them.
You met actually before Barry became a global superstar.
Oh yes.
And I've heard you say that if that hadn't happened, you could have been the next Roger Hammerstein, or maybe writing Broadway musicals years ago.
He screwed everything up with this pop career.
Yeah, I know, he hates me for that. That Mandy record.
When I met him, he had already written a very successful show called The Drunkard, which ran on 13th Street for 75 years. So I said, okay, I have a theater writer here. And he had been in the BMI Music Theater Workshop, so had I, and we thought this is what we're going to do.
That's what I was going to do. I was going to be a composer, a Broadway composer, an arranger for pop music. I was playing piano for everybody in New York, everybody. The idea of singing and entertaining was never anywhere in my head, ever. Making records as a singer or as a performer, no. I was going to be anything else but that.
You also wrote a little song that I love about a showgirl named Lola who works at Copacabana. We all love this song. Very different, I'm assuming, from the score of Harmony.
Yes.
What is the music of Harmony like?
They did every style, and so I dove in and wrote different styles. Each song is totally different than the song before. It's not the same sound, and I loved doing it.
And that's going to do it for us. Until next time, I'm Tamsen Fadal, and this is The Broadway Show.